if you're here and you don't follow Jesus, or maybe you're new to following Jesus, and you realize, man, there's a discrepancy between what I read about Jesus and what I see his followers doing. There's a discrepancy between what I see Jesus saying and what his followers actually do. Perhaps one of the reasons is that some of us who follow him have bought into a cultural paradigm that is not the way of Jesus. So for those of us who may have bought into that, let's refine. Let's embrace the paradigm of the way of Jesus. And if you don't follow him, let's start out on the right foot, and we want to show you this paradigm of what it really means to follow him. So the first word picture that helps us evaluate our paradigm is found in chapter 3, verse 5. It says, after all, who is Apollos? Who is Paul? We are only God's servants through whom you believe the good news. Each of us did the work the Lord gave us. This word servant, if we dig in the original language, it actually means one who waits a table. So here's the first word picture. Chef versus waiter. The first word picture is a chef versus a waiter. What is our worldview? What is the way we view ourselves? Because here's the thing, the chef gets the glory. The reality is this. We are not going to go back to a restaurant that serves food that makes us want to go, ugh, are we? It doesn't matter how good the service is, how nice they were, if they served us food that's terrible, we're not going back. But we've done this. We will go back to a restaurant that served delicious food because we'll say, maybe the service will get better, won't we? Because the chef gets the glory. But the waiter or waitress, they are secondary, important, but secondary to the chef. Paul says in the way of Jesus, we're not the chef. God is the chef. He's the one in the kitchen making decisions, preparing the food. We simply serve what he gives us. How many of you guys have actually been a waitress or a waiter? Raise your hand. But you guys, look, here's the thing. You guys get this more than most people because, you just know what it's like to be stiffed. Anybody been stiffed in the room? Here's the worst part. I'm just going to personally vent for a second. I apologize for this, but this is good for me. I hope you enjoy it. The reality is I worked at Jenkins, and, we've all been at places where somebody walks in at 9:53 and you close at 10. You know that? And it's fine if they're going to tip well. We've all had that person walk in that everybody knows that they're not going to tip well. And suddenly, even the people who don't follow Jesus are praying to Jesus, like, don't let me get that table. Come on, somebody just say, if you're real, don't let, and then you end up with that table, and it's just like, why me? Anybody been there? It's so frustrating. But you still have to serve them because of your honor for the chef. And so, the thing about a waiter or waitress is that no matter which direction you turn, you're serving somebody. That's part of the paradigm of a poured out life in the way of Jesus. That when you go to the kitchen, your job is to serve the chef. You better be nice to the chef. There was one time that I forgot to put in an order. Anybody done that? Oh, that is the worst feeling. So I'm like walking back to the table, and I'm going to refill drinks, and as I'm walking back, I'm like, I didn't turn it in. I didn't turn in the order. So I like awkwardly filled up the drinks and go back to the chef, and I'm like, hey, I did not put in an order. You know what he said? He said, do not take the fall for this. I got you. I'm like, what? He's like, lie to him. Do it. I'm like, I'm not going to lie to him. He's like, well, whatever you do, don't say you forgot the order. He said, I got you. And in 5 minutes, he had it ready. It's fine. You know what? Because he knew that my tip was riding on that. Why did he do that? Because I just knew, man, I got to serve him. I've got to be nice to him. Because part of my role as a waiter is to serve the chef when I walk in the kitchen. But as a waiter, when I walk out of the kitchen, I'm still serving. Because I got to serve the customer, even the ones that don't tip. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's the word picture.